It's just the second game, man. We also had Samuel Lina. It's just the beginning. Look, let's wrap this up, okay? Flamengo spent almost 70 million euros on the signings of Samuel Lina and Lucas Paquetá, and Flamengo needs him to play well. I think Paquetá will play well in upcoming games as he regains form, especially since he has the skills. He's still Flamengo. There's still the fact that he's Flamengo. Samuel Lina has already played many games, and I honestly believe he can still deliver. After all, we need him to deliver, right? A player who was so expensive, we need him to deliver. But it's a warning sign for Samuel Lina. That's right. It's a warning sign with Paquetá. I think the fans have the right to criticize. They should always criticize any player, whether they've just arrived or have been here a long time. You can criticize, man. If fans buy tickets, they can do what they want. I think the most important thing is that Flamengo now, with Filipe Luis admitting that the physical condition really isn't up to par, that was the most important step because, of course, the physical part needs to be resolved quickly, both the physical and tactical aspects. Did you see that too, Felipe? Flamengo lacks a good play. The video's opening message already said this. We start off saying, red, black greetings, this is Flamengo. Welcome to Paparazzo Rubro Negro. If you're new here, please follow, like, and share on all platforms and subscribe below on YouTube. Turn on notifications by clicking the bell and leave that awesome like on the video. Here we are. Brought to you by the Haroldo Caravan. You can secure your spot at Flamengo's games with the Haroldo Caravan. With tickets in Rio de Janeiro, top sections, and also outside Brazil and Rio de Janeiro with exclusive packages. Look, you can also check it out yourself, man. Find out how they handle customer service, man. It's fantastic, right? But how do they do it? You can have a Rio de Janeiro reception with a tour, hotel, Maracanã, everything included. Okay, so everything is guaranteed. I also want to remind you that you can lose weight with Mais Cabelo. The Mais Slim program from Mais Cabelo is spectacular, and Mais Cabelo is all over Brazil. And you get the best possible treatment with medical supervision, okay? So check out the Mais Slim program from Mais Cabelo right now. You lose weight in a healthy way without hair loss, and you can also look into hair treatment, okay? They handle everything, so let's do it. There's a free evaluation and a QR code on the screen. Let's go. Now, I'll talk about what Flamengo fans are saying. A lot of comments here about the Darwin Núñez situation, and Flamengo gave up because of that. The thing is, Flamengo gave up because of the high salary, right? Yeah, guys, when we posted here that his salary was high, right? The news was as follows. Yesterday, we reported that our journalist, in a conversation with a source connected to Flamengo's management at Maracanã, found out that Flamengo looked into the possibility of signing striker Darwin Núñez on loan. But the high salary demands of the player put an end to the negotiations. The Uruguayan earns about 16 million euros per year. Yeah, we're talking about a really high salary, right? Yeah, man. It's surreal if that's really the case. Yeah, it's absurd, right, man? It's absurd. And the fans reacted as follows. Marcos Leonardo is a much better player, and I'll discuss that. The situation with Marcos Leonardo, we have to bring Marcos Leonardo. Mika sent it in. Felipe Vicente was the one who sent it before. Juan Luis Flamengo this year. It's like a doctor, right? Just consulting. Come on, no. Flamengo signed Lucas Paquetá for 42 million euros. Flamengo signed Vitão and signed Andrew. People are just joking. Flamengo only knows how to consult. They make a lot of mistakes. The goal, Alexander sent a complaint about Darwin Núñez and Eduardo Buca. It wasn't a smokescreen due to early year embarrassment. Paquetá wasn't a distraction. They just didn't pay. Flamengo needs a striker. Pedro doesn't seem like he wants to play, but man, I'm a fan of his, but it's just not working anymore. I don't even play soccer, and I run more than he does on the field. Davi complaining about Pedro. A lot of fans are complaining about Pedro too. W, why doesn't Pardo want Marcos Leonardo? Is he better than Richardson? There are fans complaining, right, that they prefer Marcos Leonardo over him too. Another situation we're going to talk about here is Flamengo. There was no planning or training for this team. Max Rock, right, sending Carlos Eduardo. Flamengo's issue isn't the striker, but the lack of a coach, confidence, and proper training. There are no well-rehearsed plays. Fans are upset and also point out the absence of a coach. I think it's an exaggeration, but he really does need to improve physically and tactically. The team is destroyed, right? Nothing like that 2025 team. Yeah. Look, yeah, they're calling him Bagre Núñez, right? Elton Araujo is this one, so it's going to be an investment just like Royal, really bad. Carlos Wagner is sending it, so it's the fans, right? They're even thankful that Darwin Núñez isn't coming to Flamengo. Now, about the Richarlison situation, okay, guys, it sounds like a joke, right? Tiago Rodriguez, the actor, even sent it in. It sounds like a joke, yeah. We also have here Nelsandro Tattoo Man. Damn. As if that wasn't enough. Royal is Vitoria. Diaz, are you rebuked? Richarlison at Flamengo, that's a Jaque Alves. God forbid. Who's evaluating this? That's Salmo Coelho. Yuri Alberto plays 1,000 times better than Richarlison. That's Ronnie Everson. He must have a really good agent. It's not possible, brother. That's Rodrigo Manero, man. What a job. That's what they did for Flamengo. Mercy, man. They need to take some strong prayers over to Ninho Durubu because things are bad, okay? It's little Marcos Leonardo, way better, and the guys just dismiss him. Ha ha. Man, he's way better than Richarlison, better than Darwin, right? Ricardo Ginley. I'd like to know who the genius is that makes these evaluations. Guys, are you upset? So here's the thing. Check out our partner, Mengo's own creation. He even posted some of the information here, information that was actually gathered by Gabriel Orfa, our reporter at Maracana. Is that so? And we even had the news that Richarlison is still on Flamengo's radar and could gain momentum after the World Cup. And then the fans got really upset. Nisse Lima continues, people complain, but the signings have already been explained. Lino Royal, someone says this radar is broken, people are complaining, that's our great team, huh? It's going to be unreal. Sapeco in Varmengo with this squad. People want to face Flamengo even more, knowing they might be disorganized, out of shape, right? Another one for the collection, right? Fernando Luis Pinto, Luis Pino is sending it in. Okay, it's Pedro Pereira, man. People are criticizing hard. A possible arrival of Richarlison to Flamengo, okay? God willing, it stays far away. Enough of signing bad players. Why not invest in John Arias? Now that's a player. He's going to Palmeiras, man. He's going to Palmeiras, okay? Has it still not sunk in yet? So much money spent on players who aren't better than the ones we already have. It's just throwing money away, right? Edson Santos also sent that in. The previous one was Pedro Pereira. Yeah. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Douglas is sending this. It's Joãozinho DBV. We sign at least one bad player every transfer window. Man, so total rejection from Flamengo fans towards Richarlison. Total rejection. The Flamengo fans don't want Richarlison to be signed. Okay, regarding Marcos Leonardo, it's the opposite, all right? We had Flamengo's football director, Jose Boto, with a positive evaluation of Marcos Leonardo. However, the negotiation faces internal resistance since Filipe Luis believes that the Al Hilal striker doesn't fit the profile he's looking for in the team. Crazy, right, man? Marcos Leonardo doesn't fit the profile. Okay, I respect Filipe, but it's surreal, man. It's surreal. This is the... Thiago Leite sent that in, but Pombo has a spot, right? Can't even control the ball. Marcos Leonardo, no, but Pombo has a spot, can't even control the ball. Souza V17 VL7. Filipe Luis sticks with Pedro anyway, because I don't get why you'd stick with that slow guy. Ah, I see. To bring in Richarlison, it's better to keep Pedro. I don't understand, but Pedro isn't even being considered to leave. No, Flamengo just wants another striker. Thanks. People are saying Bruno Henrique is playing poorly and should retire soon. He does well in 2 games too, man. The team is doing badly. The truth is the team is doing badly. There's no point in trying to find someone to blame. There's no point. The team is doing badly, man. The team is doing badly. There are only 2 or 3 who are doing well. Cebolinha is one of them. Yeah. Look what we have here. He wants another Samuel Lino or Plata, for God's sake. Take it away. People are already saying, take it away. Don't let him choose any more signings. That's crazy, man. I'm impressed by the number of fans criticizing Filipe Luis. Once Flamengo starts winning again, everyone will praise him. It's just about timing, man. I don't feel the anger toward Felipe. There are mistakes, but I can't share the anger others have. That's not right. But I really think a lot of things need to improve, okay? Look, so we've already brought up the fans' perspective, what the fans are thinking about these possible signings. Before we continue, I wanted us to keep talking about the transfer market here. But talking about Mauro Cesar's comment, he said the following: Flamengo's fans supported the team. There were some boos at the end of the first half and at the end of the game, which were appropriate and at the right moments. While the ball was in play, it was support. As tradition dictates, don't fall for false narratives. That's it, okay? Many claim Flamengo's fans only complain and don't support the team, but yesterday we saw strong support instead. Surprisingly, many people attended the Maracanã midweek game, even after a Super Cup loss. Look at that. Marca reported that Vinícius Júnior and Flamengo's relationship was never fully severed, and that the club is considering a possible move to bring the striker back, with no transfer costs. The topic gained momentum after football director José Boto's statements during Lucas Paqueta's presentation. According to him, Flamengo's doors are open, and with Vini's contract running until June 2027, a free transfer is not out of the question. At Real Madrid, the perspective is different. According to Marca, the renewal is considered a priority, but negotiations are stalled due to financial disagreements with the player's staff. Florentino Perez does not accept losing one of the main stars for free, okay? Meanwhile, Premier League and Saudi Arabian clubs are watching the situation closely. Flamengo relies on emotional appeal and the connection with the club that raised him, but progress mainly depends on Vini Jr.'s own wishes. Okay, I'll say it again. No, I see him transferring to Flamengo in the next transfer window, but I think he'll still make one more move in Europe or Arabia before he transfers to Flamengo. I don't see Vinícius Jr. coming to Flamengo in his next transfer. I think it's difficult, not impossible, but difficult, okay? But really, at some point, Vini will show up at Mengão. And as for Real Madrid, I hope he can sort things out there with the Spanish club. Regarding the issue with Alassian, man, the news is important. It's money in Flamengo's coffers, right? Flamengo has agreed to sell Alassian to Red Bull Bragantino for 10 million euros, right? The sale is well on its way. Even though he was listed and stayed on the bench in the 1-1 draw with International, the forward already has a deal in place to leave the club. The deal is around 10 million euros, the same amount, which is about 62 million reais. So the deal which had stalled is moving forward again, and now Alassian is very close to being announced by Red Bull. Bragantino gets the player, and Flamengo obviously will keep a share of the rights and pocket a good amount of money, right? Flamengo preferred to negotiate with Red Bull Bragantino for the exposure. That's so they can even get in the future an amount they wouldn't be able to get in the Premier League. Only a capital gain, since over there it's not allowed to keep part of the rights, right? So we're bringing you all this information so we're here too. An important piece of information, right? That, even with the negative streak, Flamengo's management fully supports Filipe Luis and reinforces their confidence in the coach's work. The coach, in fact, renewed his contract until the end of 2027, which strengthens his stay in charge of the team. Brunego has only one win this season with the main squad in 5 matches. There have been 3 losses, including being runners-up in the Supercopa, as well as 1 draw. He only managed to beat Vasco. So they're keeping support for Filipe Luis. I already knew that, right? The board wasn't going to It wasn't going to be this Supercopa, Recopa situation, etc., that would shake things up. But Flamengo needs to stay alert. They need to improve urgently, right? Flamengo needs to improve urgently. It's a situation that's bothering the fans, and that's really bad, right? That's really bad because it reflects in the stands, right? It reflects on match day, on the amount Flamengo gets from ticket sales. It ends up reflecting on everything. It really messes up the planning. It's more pressure, okay? So it's really important for Flamengo to start performing well again, to start scoring points, right? We really need Flamengo to do well in the next games, okay? I'm also bringing you a statement from Mateuzinho. It was on Corinthians television, and Mateuzinho was speaking, right? Before the game, he was talking about the Supercopa match, talking with the Corinthians players, and I thought it was important to bring this up here, okay? Take a look.
I know how it is, but for us, this could change our whole year. Picture leaving this game saying, I beat the Libertadores and Brazilian champions. Imagine the momentum for us. Let's go, 90 minutes. One game, a game where we have to take those guys out, like the coach said, get them out of their comfort zone. How? By hitting, by committing fouls. If we have to fight, we fight, but that's how the game is. Take the guy out.
I said, look at that.
This could change our year. Imagine if we make it.
The teacher said, hey,
Talking about this game like that, I beat the Libertadores champion.
I beat the Brazilian champion. It was great hearing Mateuzinho talk about Flamengo and beating the Libertadores champion. Notice the desire I mentioned. Those guys came in with a lot of will, playing like it was a World Cup final, while Flamengo acted like it was just a friendly. Look at the move we're going to have even for us in here, guys. Listen to what he says now. Let's go. 90 minutes, one game where we have to take those guys down, And it's just one game. He was saying one game. The Flamengo guys seemed like they were. It's just another game for us to win, this time against the Brazilian and Libertadores champions. Where will we take them down? Listen to him like the coach said. Just like the coach said, it's important for the coach to give us direction, and no one's complaining about being told to play tough. No, that's nonsense. This is soccer, and there are many ways to win. Push them out of their comfort zone by fouling, committing fouls. Bidon did that very well. Flamengo did it too, but then they didn't know how to do it, right? With Carrascal, he got sent off, right? Although I think that was even unintentional, but anyway, it happened. The thing I'm talking about is this. Flamengo, those guys, Corinthians used to press in a certain way, right? Flamengo wasn't. And Flamengo doesn't complain to the referees. Flamengo doesn't put the same pressure on them that those guys used to, man. Soccer is a whole package. It's not just playing well. It's not just about physical condition. It's not just tactics. It's about willpower too. It's about knowing how to put pressure as well. And then Filipe yesterday, in his response to our reporter, said that he won't ask the players to pressure the referees and all that it's the referee who has to make the decision. If there has to be a fight, then fight. That's willpower, man. It comes from the game.
It comes from the game.
That's willpower. The message is clear. We're together. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and like the video. Regards, João Bruno Negros. This is Flamengo, thanks. Let's move to the scoreboard. It's open for everyone, then redirected. Follow the scoreboard channel. Thanks. Scoreboard.